Hi everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, we will be covering a basic yet key component of the record to report process, which is the chart of accounts. So in this video, we will be covering what is the chart of accounts, how is it structured in SAP, and what are some of the risks that can occur in this process, and how can you audit this area. So let's begin. So what exactly is chart of accounts? So chart of accounts is nothing but the list of all the GLs in the company. Okay, so like I showed in my previous screen, there are different types of chart of accounts, and this I'm talking in context of SAP. So in an SAP environment, we can define three types of chart of accounts. So one is your operational, group, and country. Now, out of all these three, operational chart of accounts is mandatory. So all the accounting entries are posted in ledgers and are recorded in the operational chart of accounts. So this is mandatory. Then there can also be group and country chart of accounts. So what does that mean? Let me explain with an example. So let's say there's a huge company, let's say ABC Limited. Okay. Now ABC Limited has operations at multiple places in India. Let's say Mumbai, then Hyderabad, Chennai, okay, and also it has operations in other countries, let's say London, New York, Japan, okay, say Tokyo, okay. So in SAP, each of these entities can have a separate company code, okay. So let's say this is 0001, 0002, and so on. Now when you define a chart of accounts, especially an operational chart of account, it can be a common chart of accounts that can be used by all these entities. Okay, so all of these will have the same chart of accounts which are going to be used for preparing financial reports. Okay, however, sometimes it may happen that due to certain legal requirements, there could be a need for varied financial or regulatory reporting in a specific jurisdiction. So let's say in US, you need to tweak the financials in accordance with the US GAAP. So in that case, you can have a country specific chart of accounts. Okay, so that can be different for different countries. Okay, so your operational chart of account, however, is mandatory for every location, for every company code. The other two, the country chart of accounts and the group chart of accounts, are optional. So the group chart of accounts are used mainly for consolidation or corporate reporting. Okay, so that is optional. Very quickly on the screen, I'm showing how you can create chart of accounts in SAP. Now, as an auditor, obviously you will not be creating. This is more for your reference to understand this concept better. So as you can see, very few fields are required here. You just need to name the chart of accounts, give a description of it, give the maintenance language. So let's say English, okay, and length of the GL account number. So that is nothing but the number of digits which will be used for numbering the GL account. So it could be a 7-digit number, 8-digit number. So all the GLs in this chart of accounts will have 7 digits or 8 digits based on whatever you have selected here. So the max you can select is 10. Okay, and then you also have the status field. So if you select blocked, it means it is not live yet, or you cannot post in this chart of accounts. Okay, so now that you have seen the screen, a question may come in your mind, that is, okay, I have seen that we need so and so fields, which is the bare minimum. How do I see the GL details, or how do I create GL accounts in this chart of accounts? So as I've mentioned on the first screen here, so now we have covered what is a chart of account, but it is just a structure to organize your GLs. So you also need to understand what is a GL account, what is account group, account type, company code. Okay, so like I have said earlier also in the earlier videos, in record to report, the main objective is to record financial transactions with the intent of preparing financial reports, right? So where do we record transactions? In the GL, the general ledgers. So these are your accounts where you record transactions. So you'll have account number, description, and other such fields. Now this is your basic unit. Now this needs to be organized, right? So we have something called account types. Now this is not a customizable field. This is pre-filled in SAP. You have two options. Either it's a balance sheet account or a PL account, right? Because these are the two financial reports that we prepare. Whenever we create a GL, we need to select whether the account is a balance sheet account or a P&L account. And thereafter, we have to assign the account group as well. So account group is nothing but category of accounts. So it could be assets, liabilities. So both of these are your balance sheet accounts. Then there could be income, expenses, revenue, other income. So it is up to the entity to customize the account groups. So of course, it depends on the nature of business, the complexity of the business, but typically we won't have too many account groups also. Otherwise, there can be difficulty in preparing your financial reports, or it could become too voluminous. Let me show you how the screen appears when you try to create a GL account. Now, this is something I have found online and I have shared it for reference. I can link that article also in the description of the video, so you can also go familiarize yourself. So as you can see, you have various fields. You have to select the account group, which we said is customizable, and then you have your account type. Is it a P&L account or a balance sheet account? And other certain fields like your account currency, then tax category, whether it's a reconciliation account or not. So we are not going to get into the details here. It's just for you to understand and familiarize yourself. Account name, the account group, all of these will remain constant. But when you look at the company code specific data, so each of these GL can be assigned to multiple company codes. So in our example, like we said, we have so many company codes for different entities. So for Mumbai, Hyderabad, Japan, NY, you can have separate company codes and you can assign the same GL to the different company codes, right? And when you do that, you can have different parameters for different company codes. For example, in India, you can have your account currency as INR, whereas in New York, you would have your account currency as USD. Similarly, other fields can also change for different company codes. So when we speak about chart of accounts in an auditor's context, we are referring to the list of GLs. So for reference, this is how it would look like when you try to export it from SAP. So when you are at the audit location, you can ask the client or you can get access to SAP. Make sure you get only read-only access and then export it on your own. Okay. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is when you speak of account group, this actually determines the sequence or the range within which the GLs would be created. So let's say for assets, while creating itself, the sequence can be defined as 1000 to 1999. Okay, so that means all the GLs pertaining to assets would have this sequence. Similarly, for liabilities, it can start with 2. So looking at the GL number itself, you can identify the account group. So this is how the chart of accounts is configured or structured in SAP. So now coming to the risks associated with the chart of accounts or the GL list. So firstly, misclassification. So if an account is improperly classified, for example, an expense account is classified as an income or an asset is being classified as an expense, so it will result in misreporting. Then next could be a risk of unauthorized changes. Now, as it is, this is very sensitive data. It can directly impact the financials. So that is why we want to ensure that there is no unauthorized change to the chart of accounts, to the GL accounts, right? And next, in terms of duplicates. So if there are any duplicate GLs, so when I say duplicate GLs, of course, the ID may be different, but the description or nature of account could be similar. In that case, it can result in a confusion, it can result in improper accounting, right? Or split balances. So it's not clean data for financial reporting, it can cause errors. And then lastly, incorrect attributes in the GL accounts. So when we saw here, in terms of account creation, we have certain attributes, right? So some key attributes here are your account currency. Then you have your reconciliation account and open item management. So what is the meaning of the reconciliation account? So when you check that, or tick that, it means that you want to have reconciliation activity or reconciliation to be done. So if you have missed, I have put a separate video which covers GL to sub GL reconciliation. So basically when you check this option in SAP, it enables that reconciliation. So all your accounts where there are huge line items or transactions, for example accounts receivable, accounts payable, your assets, they typically have your sub GLs, and that is why reconciliation is required between your sub GL to GL. So please check out that video, because once you see that you will understand what I'm trying to tell here. So that is a flag that needs to be marked correctly. Similarly, we have open item management. So what does this mean? So this is used when we need to have certain clearing accounts. So when you look at entries like purchases, for example, so typically what's the entry for purchases? It is nothing but purchases to vendor, right? But when you want to have transactional level information and you want to have better control here, you have a concept of clearing accounts. So in SAP, instead of directly posting a transaction like this, we will have entries routed through the clearing accounts. So you will have purchases to GRIR. Okay, when the goods are received, then you will debit GRIR. Then eventually you will then credit the vendor account. So that is why this GRIR also needs to be tagged properly. It means it's a clearing account, it's not a balance based account. So that is why when you create the GL, this open item management should be ticked properly. If it is ticked wrongly for the wrong account, it can result in misreporting. Okay, so as an auditor, what can you check? You will look for segregation of duties firstly, because like we said, this is sensitive data. We do not want any unauthorized changes. So we want to ensure that only authorized people have access to create the chart of accounts or edit the chart of accounts. Is there any maker checker? Is there any review? And also the same people should not be able to post or create financial entries in these accounts. Okay, next we look for the change history. So we can extract a report of the GLs and review the changes made during the audit period. Was there a change in account type or reconciliation flag, or was the account blocked during the audit period? Was there a change in the open item management flag? What kind of changes were done? Why they were done? Were they done by authorized personnel? All of this needs to be reviewed to ensure that there's no unauthorized or unwanted change. Next, you can look at mapping. So this is straightforward. You will look at the account grouping and ensure that the accounts are rightly grouped into P&L or balance sheet accounts. You can check for blocked accounts, that there are no transactions that have actually been posted after the accounts have been blocked. So ideally your system itself will restrict it. You will just do a secondary check. And also if there are any duplicates or unwanted or redundant accounts into which entries have not been posted since a long time, you can suggest the management to block those accounts to avoid any errors in the future. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, then please like and share with your friends and subscribe.